It's strange, really, how things unfold. One moment you're invisible. The next, everything you've been denied is laid bare before you, like a trap opening beneath your feet. My parents looked at me, their faces twisted in that fake concern, and said it all in the same breath. "That's your sister's share," they told me, eyes barely meeting mine. I wasn't expecting anything from my grandfather's will, but the mockery in their words, they weren't just denying me, they were mocking me. All these years, all the times they told me I wouldn't get a dime, wouldn't inherit a thing because I wasn't special enough. I believed them like a fool. But I knew something was off. And that lawyer's laugh, the one that echoed in the quiet room after he'd read the final sentence, sealed it. It wasn't their name that stood at the top of the will. It wasn't her name. It was mine. My parents' faces went from pale to gray to outright ashen. My sister's mouth dropped open, the facade of sweetness cracking like a dry twig underfoot. And then, there it was, the moment they knew they'd lost, and I hadn't even spoken yet. Funny how all these years of their smothering control and lies about who I was hadn't broken me. They expected anger. It wasn't anger that surged through me as I stood there, silent. It was a cold, calculating calm. They had no idea what was coming next. I could hear the echoes of their words from years ago. "You'll get nothing, not from him, not from your grandfather." Funny how a simple will can change everything. I never had a choice but to let them believe it. Growing up, they were always the ones with the control, the power. My sister, the perfect one, the one who knew how to wear a smile and manipulate every inch of the room. I was always just the other one, the quieter, darker one. But I had always watched. I had always learned, patiently, the way people underestimate you, the way you can wait in the wings, biding time. And then, one day, you take your moment. I started seeing it, the shift in my sister's tone, the way she spent a little more time with them when I wasn't around. I thought I was imagining things at first, but then I found the message on her phone. "Don't worry, I've got it all figured out. He'll never know." I didn't need to ask who he was. I wasn't angry. Anger had no place in this. But I did something I'd never done before. I started planning. I watched them, watched how they moved, watched how they felt safe, how they thought they had me cornered. And then I made my move. One by one, I let them think they were winning. I fed them their lies back, bit by bit. Gave them just enough rope to hang themselves, but not enough to tie a noose around their necks. The law firm had made a mistake, a simple oversight in the paperwork, one that would have gone unnoticed if I hadn't known the truth. My grandfather had made a clause in his will, a quiet little sentence, buried beneath everything else. The assets, the properties, the investments, all of them would go to me unless I chose to renounce it. But no, my sister had signed it. They'd had everything in place. They thought they'd won. They didn't know the clause, didn't know that my grandfather had anticipated exactly what they would try. They weren't just taking my inheritance, they were taking my place. I remember sitting across from the lawyer, watching the realization hit them one by one. First, my parents, frozen, eyes locked on me like they had seen a ghost. Then, my sister, her mouth working but no words coming out. I'd already anticipated their every move, every phone call, every whispered conversation. I had the documents filed before they could make a scene. Their betrayal, their arrogance, it all became their downfall. My sister finally opened her mouth, but it was already too late. You can't," she stammered, trying to make it sound like a plea that meant nothing. "You've already signed," I said, voice like ice. "You forfeited your right when you made that choice. it's over. Their eyes darted between me and the lawyer, desperate to find a way out. My parents, who had spent years telling me I'd never measure up, were suddenly choking on their own lies. They had no idea what had happened, how they'd been outplayed, outmaneuvered by the one person they had thought beneath them. It was quiet, the kind of quiet that wraps itself around you like a shroud. The lawyer took one look at them, then at me, and nodded. "The documents are clear. I'm afraid there's nothing to be done." And that was it. The moment their world crumbled. They tried to speak, tried to argue, but their voices had no weight, no power. I had stripped it all away. There was nothing left for them to hold on to. As I left that room, I didn't feel victorious. I didn't need to. The silence between us was all the victory I needed. I let them go home. Let them believe they had time to fix things, to find some way to reverse it. But there was no way back. I could hear myself